Arabia. What do we mean by Arabia? For some, Arabia means all the Arab countries. But here, I'm referring to Arabia to be the countries of the Arab Gulf. And these are the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the Kingdom of Bahrain, the State of Kuwait, the State of Qatar, the Sultanate of Oman, and the United Arab Emirates. These are the countries of Arabia that we will explore today. And here is the map for the Arab Gulf. Through the years and through my training in cross-cultural and in different places, I have collected a number of questions that come from the participants. And we will explore these questions that usually I do not cover in my training. So this DVD should be supportive to the training program. And we will explore these questions one at a time. Paul is a trainer from America. He's an American trainer, or rather, he's a North American trainer from the United States. He came to Qatar to conduct a training program for 5 days. His counterpart was Abdul Aziz. He was the person that he was in communication with, and he is the one who invited them to organize the training program. Paul, when he arrived, he did something that upset Abdul Aziz. What did he do? He kept calling Abdul Aziz, "Hi, Abdul! Hi, Abdul!" And Abdul Aziz got upset. Let's look at the names. To understand why Abdul Aziz was upset, we have to explain something very important. In the Islamic faith, we Muslims believe that God has 99 names. These names are adjectives, such as the most merciful, the most graceful, the most generous. And we also believe in the Islamic faith that man is slave for God. We are servants of God. And therefore, every one of us is a slave of God. Now, in Arabic, the word slave is abd. So the word abd is a slave. And let us look at some names. Start with my name, Abdul Hamid, means the slave of the most ethical. Abdul Aziz, the slave of the most generous. Abdul Rahman, Abdul Rahim, Abdul Kareem, Abdul Wahid, Abdul Basit, Abdul Jalil, and Abdul Bari, Abdul Samad. All of these names it's all of them saying the slave of God in different ways. So Paul was talking to Abdul Aziz, and he kept telling him Abdul, which means he was saying to him Abd. He was saying to him slave. He's a slave. So Abdul Aziz didn't like it. Therefore, we have to be very careful with Arabic names. Many of the Arabic names, male, always start with Abd, and then followed by the adjective or the name of Allah, of God. So we can say to the person Hamid, Aziz, Kareem, but we cannot say Al-Kareem or Al-Hamid. We also cannot say Abd or Abdul. This is not correct, and we should keep saying Abdul Hamid or Hamid. So for those of you, my friends, always call me, either they call me Abdul Hamid or they may call me Hamid. How do people, Arabs, greet each other? They greet each other depending on which ethnic group or where do they descend from. Example, Bedouins those who come from the desert, they greet each other nose to nose. Let's look at this.
السلام عليكم.
عليكم السلام.
مرحبا مرحبا حيدة حيدة السلام عليك. كيف الحال؟ مرحبا بك. يا مرحبا 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 حيدة مرحبا مرحبا. وش حالكم؟ هلا
حيا الله عبد الله.
مرحبا مرحبا حيدة.
سمع الريال.
كيف الحال؟ وش حالكم؟
الله يحييك.
وش علومكم؟
يا مرحبا يا مرحبا.
والسلومة.
يا مرحبا.
يا
وش حالك؟
مرحبا.
مساكم خير.
شفتوا؟
As we can see, they keep a distance, the arm stretch as the distance, and then nose to nose, which means that we are equal. We are equal, my nose to your nose. And this is how they greet each other. Those in the city, or the fishermen and the pearl divers, they greet each other by touching the cheek, cheek to cheek. Not really kissing, it's just touching the cheeks. So the closeness depends on where do the people come from. Some, too close, and some a bit distant. Women, they also greet each other either nose to nose or cheek to cheek. Women, and of course, there is segregation, so there is no, men do not touch women, strangers, unless they are close relatives. A dress. What do we dress? Okay, we, as you can see, men, they wear this, which is called kandura, dishtasha, or thobe. It depends on where you are. In the UAE, United Arab Emirates, the term used is kandura. In other places like Kuwait, it is called dishtasha. In Oman, in Bahrain, and in Qatar, mostly they call it thobe or dishtasha. So you have three terms: thobe, kandura, and dishtasha. This is for men. As you can see, it's always white. The style differs, but very much the same. And there is a significance for wearing this. It's sameness. So you cannot really tell who is rich, who is poor from the dress, because everyone wears the same style and the same color, the same material. For women, it is different. Women, they wear the black veil, as it is called, or we call it abaya. And let us see some abayas. The abaya is always accompanied by another cover, which is called shayla or wugaya. The word wugaya is used in some countries in the Gulf, such as United Arab Emirates and Oman, and the other term is also shayla. And both of them, they are worn different ways. Some of them, they cover the whole face, some cover only the hair, and some cover the whole, leave only the eyes open, only the eyes. So there are, and as we can see, these are different styles of wearing the shayla or wugaya. The abaya, the old times, it used to be worn on top of the head, but nowadays they put it on the shoulder. And in the past, the objective of the abaya originally is to cover the woman when she goes outside. Okay? And it usually, or it used to be, very thick and loose. and nothing on top. It is just plain black abaya. And so that when the woman walks, nobody will ever know who she is, if she is rich or poor, if she is the daughter or the wife of the prince or the king or whoever. Nobody would ever know, because everyone is wearing the same black cover. And it is loose so that it does not reveal the woman's physique. However, today, as we can see, the abaya is no longer the loose, now it is tight, and the abaya now is very thin, so that it is almost see-through. And it has all kind of decoration. I mean, we have fashion houses today for abaya only. Along with the abaya, we have also the other cover, which is accompanied the abaya, is the shela. The one that covers a part of the face, or all the face, or all the hair. And again, it's matching between the abaya and the shela, as we can see from these pictures. Okay, one of the questions that I've been asked many times, can we visit the house of a Gulf national? The answer, of course, you can. Can we visit together like husband and wife? Yes, you can. But be prepared, once you enter the house, you will be separated. So men will go separate and the women will go separate. Now every house, for every Gulf national, whether it is in UAE or Qatar or Bahrain or Saudi Arabia or Kuwait or Oman, must have a separate room that is dedicated for men, to receive men. This is like we call it the guest house, or the guest room if you like, and this is called majlis. In Kuwait, it is called diwaniyah. But in the rest of the Gulf, it is usually called majlis. So majlis or diwaniyah is basically the guest room for the male guests. And let's have a look at how this majlis. Let's look at typical majlis. We have one. Here is the old style of majlis, where people are sitting on the floor. This is the typical Gulf sitting room, and this is, I'm holding the fan, because this is the replacement, or basically the basic air conditioning that we had in the past. And the other one is, this is the modern majlis, where people are sitting on the sofas and the chairs. Serving the coffee. And the coffee is an important and integral part in Arab Gulf hospitality. Usually, whether you go to office or you visit people at home, there is no business talk before serving the coffee. So people usually is the chit-chat. When you visit people, even in the office, you sit down. The discussion generally is about hello and how are you and how's your family, and the usual chit-chat. Then they will call for the coffee. The coffee comes in, and only after drinking the coffee or the tea, then the business starts. So any serious discussion usually occurs only after the coffee. As we have seen, the coffee is served in small cups. And This is like a typical coffee pot. Of course, the coffee pot that we saw, this is the traditional old Arab Gulf coffee pot. And now it is usually served in these, which is very modern. This is, I think, Chinese or Japanese made. Anyway, you are served the coffee, usually they put a little, and then you start to sip the coffee. And once it is done, as we can see, is you shake the cup. So you just shake the cup, it means thank you. But as long as you say no, or thank you, or enough, or whatever words, they will keep giving you coffee until you shake the cup, and that signifies thank you, I had enough. And once again, the coffee usually, as I said, is very important and integral part of the Arabian business conduct. Okay, Abdullah, can you tell us what is this?
Yes, this is a model of houses at the desert before.
Right, this is the tent.
Yeah, the tent.
Okay.
And people used to live there in the desert, like my grandparents and their grandparents.
Right, okay.
And here, this is the well,
Uh-huh.
and this is pretty basic, but this is how it usually looked.
Okay, all right.
And
And this one?
and this one is it was used to store water
Uh-huh.
and to keep it very cool.
So this is your fridge in the past?
Yeah,
Your refrigerator?
yeah.
Okay, all right. And this one?
Here we have the weighs
The scale,
the
huh?
scale,
Right.
and they were used to weigh things like foods
Okay,
and
alright.
things usually in the market.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you, Abdullah.
Welcome.
Another question, if we visit somebody's house, a Gulf National house, how do we know it is time to go? They keep serving us, how do we know it is time to go? Oh, the answer is very simple. Whenever they serve the dukhun or the oud, that means it is over. We have a proverb that says, no قعود بعد العود, ما بعد العود قعود, which means there is no sitting, there is no waiting after the oud. What is the oud? It is the sin. Let us look. So once they serve this, it means the discussion or the meeting is over and we can start leaving.